How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode 4. We made it to today's progress, yesterday's plan. If you're watching, you'll see I'm not in my usual setting. It is Christmas Day today. Merry Christmas. And we're out in the state of Queretaro. I'm at my in-laws' house. And one of the things I wanted to commit to in this series and accountability was just that, accountability, right? I got to get things done. I told you guys this is going to be every Friday, and we're finishing the first month. I'm out on the road. It would have been an easy time for me to make an excuse of not being able to do today's episode, but I have decided to bring my equipment with me with what I can, set up here in our guest bedroom, and bring you today's video podcast. So just for you tech heads wondering, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of what I brought with me to be able to record this episode without it being too cell phone-ish, right? I could have easily done it on my cell phone and got the recording for you guys, but I went out and brought my lights with me, which is my aperture light panel that I have here, lighting me with the grid. As you can see the color behind me, I brought those small LED RGB lights that I recently purchased, and they help dress up the background here for those of you watching. I brought my camera. I have my monitor here that I could look at to make sure I'm in frame and in focus. I don't have my condenser mic with me today. That stays at my desk, but I do have a lavalier to get the best sound I can for you guys. And tripods and stands. So my kit's pretty versatile and it could move. So I'm glad to be able to have that and stick to my commitment to you guys and to myself to produce content and get it out there. So if you're considering creating content, considering what kind of gear to get, 1, don't let your gear hold you back, and 2, just go for it. Like whatever you have, use it, take it with you. Right now, as we're approaching the new year, again, this is Christmas Day. We're right around the corner for reaching 2021. It's like in our grasps. And I hope all of you have great plans and ambitious to get things started and going, because like they say, now's the time. So if you're considering that, I mean, like myself, we're looking into new equipment. When I say we're, I'm talking about my buddies, my producer friends, and people I speak with. Shout out to you guys. You know who you are. Grabbing those gears, bettering yourselves. And I hope this episode today helps to serve as an example like that, to stick to your guns, stick to what you said, and get it done. So I'm happy to be here. Episode 4. We're finishing off the year strong with 4 episodes. Looking forward to new episodes coming next month. I'm thinking about having some guests on. I'm thinking once a month. At the end of the month, I'd like to have my first guest. It'll probably be done via Zoom. So stay tuned. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments. If you'd like to be a guest and have a topic you'd like to discuss and just chat about, throw that in there as well. And again, my channel, if you're watching, it's called Sharkario, and it's all kind of stuff. So there's really no topic that we won't touch on. And so yeah, give me a shout out. Back to today, the 25th, Christmas Day. I hope all of you are having a beautiful time with your family, with your loved ones. If you're not and you're alone, or if at your home, it's okay. I hope that you're still having a pleasant time. This year has been pretty rough for many of us, for a lot of people. For some, I think rougher than others, but it's okay to look within ourselves, acknowledge that, and really just take a step forward and try to better ourselves. So we tell ourselves we're looking forward to 2021, and that's the case, right? I'm lucky enough to be here in Queretaro with the in-laws, a small gathering. That's 5 of us, and we've stayed in and had a nice dinner. And I really miss my family and friends back home. I've moved away out of the country, so I've already been kind of like homesick, missing people. But still, this year and celebrations this year have changed significantly, and I think it's paid an emotional toll on all of us. And I'm very grateful to have such a large family, a loving family that we're used to having big gatherings, 16 to 20 people together for Christmas. And this year, for obvious reasons, it just didn't go down that way. And it's tough, but it's very gratifying to see how my family still finds ways to stay together. And one way that they've been doing that is through the magic of Zoom. My sister in San Francisco is great with technology, and she's made big efforts really keeping the family united, even though we're all so far away. And, you know, she puts together activities, sends out kits with gifts, and schedules Zoom calls for the family to get together and still do some fun activities. I really admire that about you, Christina, if you're watching, and that's really cool. And I think a lot of people can take heed in that and start to do more things for ourselves and for others in new ways that we kind of didn't think were possible. Zoom is one of those things. I think, I think it's really cool that families could get together like that. Trying to think of other topics to go. I kind of wanted to go an emotional route right now, but I don't think I'm ready for that. So, on another note, making progress in other areas. I'm excited for you guys. If you saw the last episode, I had won a 5-day pitching contest with the TV Hosting Academy, a coaching program I'm part of for being coached as becoming a host or a spokesperson, multimedia journalist, for being on camera, producing content. And it's really helped me a lot because besides winning that contest, I have put together some materials that have been received very well, resume, demo reel, and website package. And it's been received so well that I'm working with my coach, Nicole Sailors, now, and we're going to be offering this for other people who are in the pursuit of becoming hosts and can use those services. So I'm very excited to be able to offer that in the new year. I'm very excited because it's not only going to help a lot of people stand out, and it's going to help a lot of people on this journey that I'm also embarking on as well. So I'm very passionate about, but it gives me another sense of purpose, bringing on new projects. You know, having deadlines and having something to work on is really helpful. So I hope those of you that are even considering ideas and considering to start moving forward on something, like, if you ask me, yes, do it. I don't even need to hear what you're considering, because anything you want to start up now new is the time to do it. And I think if you're even thinking about it and considering it, you should have the confidence in it to move forward with it. Because man, time flies, right? I don't know about you out there, but time, I think, flies by faster now the older I get, right? I feel like, not that I don't mean to date myself, but I don't mean to, be the older guy that I used to look up to and listen to and be like, oh no, they're just saying that, do things now, or time's gonna go by so fast, I wish I was younger, and things like that. I don't really want to be saying that stuff, but I feel it, I do feel it sometimes. But I don't know, sometimes then I start to think, I think the world's just starting to spin faster. And the days literally are going by faster. Our 24 hours now is not the 24 hours back then. And it sounds kind of ridiculous, but I don't know. Take a look at the seasons, right, and global warming and all that stuff. I kind of wonder if time is passing us by quicker. That might be kind of a weird conversation for another episode, huh? But yeah, another thing that's really cool this week is getting in touch with people from my past. Not from my past, but people I've kind of lost touch with. There's been a number of people that have been coming back into my life as far as making connections and networking again. And I'm very excited to see many of them doing big things and have big things ahead of them. So that's always cool. I just started a new program with two of my friends with Michael and Jacob. If you guys are watching, I'm excited to get this program rolling with us. I know, Jacob, you started doing some work, and the program I'm talking about is the self-authoring program. And it's a program for self-betterment, a program to help us determine more of our goals, or really define our life the way we deserve it to be, the way we are responsible, in a way that we are responsible for our own life and duties of things we want to accomplish. And it's a program that's going to help us do some self-work and really find the meaning and purpose of our lives, and define things that we want to accomplish. And, like the future authoring section is about writing out your future the way you see it in 5 years and 10 years, from not just the general goals that we usually think of, but more specific goals and the small little details of, how do you see yourself being healthy? How do you see yourself maintaining that health? What are the little things that you see yourself doing in 3, 5, 10 years that are accomplishing those things for you? And I think when I started this podcast or this series, I was already kind of like on that mental wavelength of defining those things and really setting forward to putting it out there of what I'd like things to be and how I want to see things, and really manifesting those thoughts and those ideas. And my buddy Jacob saw one of those episodes. Michael shared it with him and our other friends, and Jacob reached out right away like, hey, check out this program, and this is like right up your alley. And it really spoke to me, and we're all gonna start it again together and move forward. So I think that's really cool. And then I'm curious to you guys that are watching and are willing to comment, what kind of things are you doing moving into the new year? What kind of things have you already been implementing and practicing that maybe have or haven't worked for you? Because it's very important to notice those things as well, to not just look for the positive stuff, but acknowledge the things that might hold us back or might not be working, and really do something about it, right? Like make some changes. And so what are those, right? So if you can leave a comment below, I'm really open to hearing new ideas, things that might help, and maybe some of the things that I talk about here hopefully help as well. One of the things that, I'm trying to think of examples, right? I want to say something that hasn't been working for me, and I think I mentioned it in other podcasts. Something that hasn't been working for me has been to be very loose about what I want to accomplish, and very like laid back and nonchalant, going with the flow. I usually saw that as a positive, and it kind of is, but it hasn't helped me in achieving where I'd like to be. When I sit back and I reflect and I look at my life today, I honestly don't know like how I got here, in the sense of this is not where I pictured myself 5 years ago, 10 years ago. When I try to think back and think of like the stuff that I have wanted to accomplish in my life, I'm not there. Like I'm not there. And I think I'm close. I don't want to say I'm not close, but like I'm just not there. And when I say there and I think of that word right now, like where is there? Like what do I mean? Like what am I missing? What do you mean you didn't accomplish the things you are? And then my answer to that is like, I don't know. Like I don't know what it was then that I pictured for myself today. And so then I look back and I try to pinpoint times in my life, like moments or actions and decisions, and I try to like fry my brain like, man, what was it that didn't work? Like what path did I go down that wasn't the right path? And I think of that, and then I don't reflect on painting the picture of what I do want. So one of the things I do want to change for this year, and I have been implementing in the past few months, is really being definitive of that purpose and really defining and speaking it out what it is that I want. More short-term goals. I've been thinking like more in the terms of like a year, a few months, which has been helping me. And now I really want to step forward into the bigger picture and start thinking in terms of painting that picture for the next 3 years, in the next 5 years, and really putting it out there, really sticking to it, and keeping my word to myself of what it is that I want and defining that. And it's been helping me. And like I said, that attracted or created this whole program that I'm starting with my friends. Like, it led to Jacob showing me this program that I didn't even hesitate to say, hey, we got to do this. Like, thanks for sharing. And like, I'm pumped on it. Let's do it. And Michael also was like, dude, that's awesome. I need a change. That looks like something that could help me. Let's all do it. And so we're going to move forward in that. And yeah, one thing that I've been doing along those lines as well that has helped me is journaling. And I guess journaling, what I like to do is write down kind of like the future authoring, I think, is I like to write down my feelings and my thoughts about the things I want to attract into my life, but in a real-time sense, kind of like present form, as if I've already accomplished them. Like I feel, what's a good example? Like, okay, a long time ago when I was in college, there was a car I really wanted. And when I first kind of discovered this idea or this activity of putting things into thought and really feeling that thought and attracting those things to you, I tried it out with that car. And I had a book that I would write in, and I really wrote, look, I finally got my car. It's white. I'm really excited that I have it. When I drive it, I like how it feels. And I went, to the canyons the other day and drove it, and my white car is awesome. It was a 240 SX. I wanted a 1990 240 SX, and I wanted a white one. And so I would speak about it and write about it as if I had it. And I kept practicing that for a while, and I was on the search looking, and I couldn't find one, but I kept believing I was going to get one. And I never got my white Nissan 1990 240 SX, but I did get my 1991 gold champagne 240 SX, and I was like stoked. Like, I didn't get exactly the one I wanted, but I got the one I wanted. And I don't know, some people might take that as like, nah, well, I don't know how else you would explain it, but I really feel that I did attract that to me, and I went after it and got it. And so that kind of got me more on that path, and that was a long time ago. And I would like practice it and not practice it, and then for the past year and a half, I've been still practicing journaling. But going back to my example of things that aren't working, I think I have generalized my journal so much that even the specific thoughts that I continue to write in there, I think I need to specify them more. Like, I don't know, I'm a successful video producer, I'm a successful, video creator, and which is a good general idea. And I think I've been pretty successful in the line of work that I'm doing because I'm okay, but I haven't reached that level of success that I genuinely want and think I deserve. So I think I need to specify more specifically of, like, I'm a successful video producer of XYZ production, or I did this production and it's been successful, or this specific amount of money for a job, or things like that. And I don't know, what are your thoughts? Do you think that's something worth investing those thoughts into, or being that specific? Lately, I've been writing like I'm a successful host. I'm a successful video host. Like, I really want to work with a production that I'm just hosting. And I guess you could say what I'm doing here is that, but it's not the level of success that I'm looking for. I want something big. Like, I need to attract some big thing. And I think that I'm well on that way, though. I do want to stick on this path. And yeah, shoot, I don't know where my brain just went right now, but have you guys thought of journaling? Do you journal? What other forms of organizing your thoughts or plans do you use? One for me has been like a health tip, I guess. I don't know what to call it, I mean, I'm exercising more. I'm eating different than what I've been eating. I'm sticking to a routine for exercising, taking my vitamins and protein shakes and like really sticking to that. And it's been going well. Like I've found that rhythm where I need to make sure I stick to it. Because as we all know, once you fall out of rhythm, it's hard to get back into that rhythm. And so that's why I brought all my stuff with me here today to record today's episode, because I want to stay in that rhythm for myself. And I want to stay in that rhythm for you guys who are going to continue this journey with me and see how we advance together, hopefully, because I'd love to interact with those of you watching. So keep that rhythm going, right? Today I went on a jog. It's Christmas Day, and I went with my brother-in-law who started running again. He like runs marathons, and he's a great runner. He just had a knee surgery, and he's been healing very well, so he's starting to run again. So I'm able to keep up with him at this point since he's still recovering and I could run. So even though today I didn't even keep up with him, a little embarrassing story for you guys here. We went on a run, a 5K run, and we had, to preface that, we had an amazing dinner last night, and I didn't unload last night or this morning. So for those of you runners, you'll know that I ran out on a fully digested stomach. And at kilometer 4, like the bubble guts like kicked in. And I had to like stop and like bend over and like move different ways. Like I was like not having it, and I couldn't run to get to my destination quicker. And I had my dog with me. We brought our dog on the trip, and she was tied to my waist because I like running with her like that. But this time she was pulling me and like just getting tighter around my waist. So long story short, I made it home to the restroom, like kicked the door in. They opened the door for me, and I barely made it. And so you guys can imagine whatever you want of my little embarrassing story here. Christmas Day jog, barely made it. And it was one of the worst feelings I've had in a long time. What do you think? Has that ever happened to you? You got an embarrassing story like that? And I don't think you think it's that embarrassing because I didn't go all out to say what you might be imagining. I don't know. Did it? Did it not? I made it. Just let's know that. But yeah, so I don't know where I was going with that, guys. I think just trying to stay on my health journey and exercising. And Christmas Day, like we got up at 6:30. We're out the door at 7 to go on a nice run. And I've been enjoying it. We're in Queretaro, in the state of Queretaro. And it's really nice out here. It's different from the city life that I'm living right now in Mexico City, which I love the city life. This is more like suburban life, kind of reminds me more of like being back home in Rancho Cucamonga, track homes, larger distances between destinations and like supermarkets, and definitely a place where you want to have a car to get on the highway to go to different destinations where you're going, versus being in the city where we haven't really needed a car in the time that we've been here. But I like it out here. I don't know. Sometimes we think of like going to different places to live and try out new stuff. And when we're here, I always like consider that. Definitely looking to be back home soon in California. For those of you following the journey with Ilana, my wife, and I, about our process of getting back to California. It's coming together. It's moving along. We'll see how things go. Maybe I'll speak about that or open up about it more in another episode. But just so you guys know, we're working on our immigration process with for her visa, and it's been a long journey for those of you that know that, since I've been here and we lived back in California together. So definitely a topic I would like to open up in the future. I think I have an experience that I could mention to those who may be on the same journey or going to start the same journey, or those of you that have done it maybe can share your experience. But that's moving along, and hopefully we're back in California. I'm always excited about the thought of being in California because I miss it, man. I loved California and I loved the opportunities that I had in California. Thankfully, I've been working remotely for quite some time now and able to work remote previous to this pandemic situation. But the opportunities for me have been a little more difficult in Mexico, and it's just different out here. But yeah, man, I can't wait to get back to California. I mean, little things, like I still have a ton of gear back in California that I haven't brought here. I used to have a studio in California with my partner KJ. Shout out to KJ if you're watching. He's still like doing big things and developing new programs and like doing some awesome stuff. And man, I miss that. I miss not having a studio. I like my buddies out there that are watching are like really progressing and moving forward, and I'm stoked to see the progress they're all doing and working and picking up gear. And I'm just like, man, I'd love to be in California where we could just get our collective together and work on some awesome projects. But again, I'm thankful for the opportunities that I have here, and I'm thankful to be getting ready to go into 2021 and staying on this accountability journey and making sure I'm accomplishing the things I'm set out to be. I'm still a little nervous to be mentioning those things. I don't know if you've noticed, like I'm kind of a little vague on them, but it's part of the journey. I'm going to start to be more specific, developing those, and hopefully they lead to better episodes. They lead to better communication with others. Again, I want to have some guests on, so if anything that you've heard interests you or you'd like to speak on, leave your comment below. And if you want to come on, reach out to me, and maybe we could do like a Zoom conversation sometime and get you on here too, speaking as well on some ideas. Yeah, throw some ideas at me. I'd like to cover a different topic moving forward. I think today was kind of well. I don't have my notes and calendar in front of me like I've had in other episodes, which kind of have thrown me off. I think I've been all over the place here as well. But again, all kinds of stuff on my channel. So if you like it, subscribe, leave a comment below. If you are more interested in listening to stuff, you could find me on Spotify, Amazon Music, and you could also, Pandora just picked up the podcast, so I'm just waiting for iTunes to pick it up, and hopefully soon. And if you're listening, check it out on YouTube, and I have a channel as well with all kinds of other videos, all kinds of stuff. So guys, Merry Christmas, stay positive, and I'll catch you next week, and we'll go into the new year together. Thanks. Peace.